Well, welcome back everybody to Motorsport Manager then. And it wasn't the ideal opening race, but it certainly could have been a lot worse. Third and fifth, although we're fourth and fifth in the championship because of that bonus fastest lap. Which I need to keep in mind. Remember that if we're completely out of a race, bring the car in, put fresh tyres on and go for fastest lap, because there's some points up for grabs there. And of course with only the top 6 getting points, that could be crucial this season in the run-in to try and win the championship. Now, lots of help and advice in the comments as always. One I need to look at, I think, is the mechanic. Yes. Now, had we already made an offer? I can't remember. Yes, we're waiting for Jordan Bordeaux to consider our offer to replace our rolling mechanic Rashid Kronk. So hopefully he will accept our offer. Interviews, I think we agreed with someone in the comments that it's just pointless doing them, really. It's always about a negative or a neutral. There's rarely anything positive that comes out of the interviews. Eckert, very happy with her podium. I'm very happy with her podium as well. Looks like she'll be able to fight with Dreyfus right up there from the beginning. Of course, she is, according to the stats, going to be a better driver than Dreyfus when she gets there. So, not that you can go hard and fast on those star ratings, but it's a pretty good indicator. So I'm hoping she can get above Dreyfus, or at least they'll both be competing at the same level. That's where we lost quite a few points last season, was Ecker's poor start. So we need to continue bringing in new parts then. We haven't made anything yet this season, so we need to try and work out where we're weak. Let's have a look at the car, shall we? So, suspension we could definitely do with a new part. Engine and gearbox obviously very important. Shouldn't be too important at Munich though. I don't think there's too many long straights. I'm going to go for a new suspension part then. Next up, we shall go for medium speed corners plus 25 and get that building. And continue. Now, of course, what was pointed out was that the engine, the gearbox, when we were pushing, that is what is wearing quickest. So I think they're the two things we need to switch priority to. Of course, we can't let any of the other parts drop too low. We should have... Oh, we should have an answer from the mechanic. Not yet. Probably when we tick over to the next day. Right, let's take a look at those reliabilities then, shall we? And we were focusing purely on reliability at the moment. A lot of them are on 50%. I'm going to switch off from the suspension then, and go to the engine, and we'll switch off. Oh, we're already on the gearbox. So gearbox and engine, and we will stay purely on the reliability train at the moment, plus all 20 engineers working hard on improving those. I think we now have that answer. We're going to have to renegotiate. Last chance. Okay. So he currently doesn't have a race bonus or a buyout clause or anything with his current contract, but he's pretty pissed off with our offer. It's not good, is it? It's important to have a good racing engineer. His last offer, I'll go to 54,000. I won't go higher than that. Signing on fee, what's the maximum? 150. Okay, we'll go 105. Bonus size is quite important. For first, maximum is 90. Let's go 72. It's pretty expensive for a race engineer, but I just want to get one in the car at this point. To help improve our pit stops. And of course, to build up that relationship with the driver as soon as possible. Right, suspension's finished. What's the staff? That's just the contract thing. Okay. Let's go for... Let's have a look again, actually. See, the problem is with all these parts, you've got to then bring them back up. If we're concentrating on the engine and gearbox at the moment in terms of reliability, and there's quite a bit to improve in terms of performance, so I might go for some new brakes, I think. Deceleration and reliability. We can always build the reliability back up. Just don't want to don't want any risky parts. They're just not worth the hassle. Right, we've got a sponsor slot free. 150 per race, 350 up front or 500 up front. 6 races, yeah, these are definitely going to be better. 7 races up front and a fixed payment of 150. Perfect. It's a nice pocket change for the engineers. I would love to have that kind of money coming in my GT series, but in terms of the single seaters, it's not really that much money in the grand scheme of things. Rejected. I mean, that was a fantastic offer, so you're just a dick, and I don't really want you on my team. If you're gonna turn down like twice as much money as you're getting already, how dare he? Okay. European Racing Series. We'll try and stay in the same championship. Generally get value for money with those engineers. Bordeaux wasn't interested. Rachel Edwards, pretty expensive. Tom Woodbridge, not brilliant, but he can improve quite a lot, which means we'll get him cheap to begin with. We go for a slightly better one initially, but not room to improve. Let's go for Tom Woodbridge. Let's pretend we're building for the future. We never know how far we're going to be going, but I always like to go for youth in any kind of game. Long contract, even split. He doesn't care anyway. Wages are fairly important. We'll go a bit higher than he's getting already then. 24. He wants signing on fee. What's the maximum? It's 30,000. Sure, I just want someone in the car. Bonus size isn't very important, so we won't offer him one. Okay, please accept, Tom. I need somebody pretty sharpish for the next race would be ideal. Those brakes are not finished. Don't know why it told me they were finished. We're up into the 60s for the engine and gearbox now. We will continue to improve them. I'm hoping brakes and suspension we can soldier on with for the next race. Let's at least get the engine and gearbox up, and then hopefully we can push a bit during the race. Right, those brakes are now finished. Let's just keep piling the parts on. Let's just keep doing it. Let's go for a new engine, shall we? Let's go for the big one. Top speed plus 20%. Plus 20 points, sorry. It's expensive, but we're pushing for promotion here, and you can't put a price on that. Well, you can. It's currently £940,000 because that's all we've got left. But we can now sign Tom Woodbridge in place of Rashid Kronk. Woodbridge is at least as good as Jarvis, and he's got a lot of room to improve. So perfect. Welcome aboard. And we now have 2 proper race engineers again. Good. Contract signed. Woodbridge and Dreyfus's new race mechanic. Okay. Getting ready for Munich then. We're nearly there. All rubbish. It adds depth, I'm sure, and flavour to the ambience of the game, but at this point, it's all about the racing and getting the results we need to try and get into the Asia Championship. Pre-race preview, no thank you. Okay. We'll go for 8 for above. It's just a safe bet, isn't it? One of our drivers should finish above 8th. It's a big difference to that Wonderlock sponsor, but I still think our car is a little bit off getting second naturally. There's every chance we could get the win or get second, but $500,000 in the bank is a safe option, I think. Okay, let's get the cars fitted up then. We've got those new brakes. The reliability is as good as we've got already, so we're going to give them to Eka. I guess we are, because that's what we've done. And we will give Dreyfus the new suspension. 40% is pretty low, but we're just going to have to run with it, I think. It's a balance of reliability and performance at this stage. We just don't have the facilities to get a part up to spec, ready to race as soon as it's out of the factory. We'll hopefully get there one day though. Okay, I'm going to get practice done then. Looking like a nice dry practice session and a pretty wet race, so it's going to be an interesting weekend. So I shall get practice done and join you for the race. Okay, welcome along to race number 2 then. And very, very good practice session for Dreyfus. 99% on the setup. I don't think 100 is actually possible. If anyone's hit 100% in the setup, let me know, because I've never seen it. But 99 is as close as we could possibly hope to get. So Dreyfus will be going into this race very confident that our car will do what she tells it to. Eka a few points down on 95%, but still pretty good. Can still have a good race from there. Intermediate tyres, it is damp, and I think the rain is just going to increase. Whether we're going to see a full wet race or whether it's going to be intermediates to dries to intermediate kind of race, we shall see. Obviously keep an eye on the weather forecast as we go on. So let's put those knowledge slots on then. Quick fixes is so useful, it really is. And race trim means that if we're on intermediates or dry tyres, we'll get a boost. So they're good, 2 great options for Eka. Dreyfus, no mechanic components. She's got a brand new engineer, of course. They will come as the season goes on, I'm sure. But medium tyres and race trim will still be useful, I'm sure. Hopefully we'll see some dry running at some point. So the intermediates, around 16 to 18 laps they're going to run. I thought this was a GT series for a minute. Yep, 12 laps is all we can get. So I don't think we're going to be worrying about fuel options in that sense. And of course we will... I'm going to start neutral and medium again. Just want to look after the car, and just hopefully with a strategy we can pull it out the bag later on in the race. Alex Rogers there, starting with a neck brace. I never chased that up. I think one of our drivers has got a neck brace. Dreyfus, Eka, I think that's my GT series again. They're all going into one. Go watch it if you haven't. But here we go then. Race number 2 is underway of season 3. Cracking start from Dreyfus, up to 14th already. Eka dropping a position to 18th, now 19th. Of course, these reverse grids still going to be an issue for us. We still have to try and find a way through the field if we're in a good position in the championship. These trees aren't good for visibility of watching the race. But Dreyfus continuing to make progress up to 13th. Eka down to the back of the field, but no need to worry just yet. Dreyfus should have a cracking race here if we can get the strategies right. And 99% setup, she's going to be super confident. And she has just dropped 3 more positions, but we know how dodgy the AI can be early on in these races when everybody's bunched up. So won't worry just yet. So we come around to finish the end of lap 1 then. And it's such a shame we have inverted grids. It denies us of really working out who we're fighting from the offset in terms of championship and raw pace. If you don't get the qualifying benchmark to know whereabouts your car is stacking up. But hopefully everything will sort itself out in the end. Tyre temperature's looking pretty low, so we're going to push. Now hopefully this doesn't wear our parts too hard. We've got to bring our tyre temperatures up. Probably should have done that a little bit earlier. There's not much we can do. Try and keep an eye. It's going to be the brakes and suspension on both cars that are going to be the potential issue. Hopefully we've raised the engine and gearbox reliability enough for it not to be a factor in this race. But of course we will find that out. 2 cars diving into the pits already then. The rain is going to continue to fall, so I can't imagine that's a strategy change. So maybe issues with the cars. Not going to complain though, because it's put Eka up to 17th place. We're struggling to get through the traffic here. We are struggling. I'm wondering if we should just turn the fuel up a little bit, just see if we can get through some of this traffic. Of course, the tyre temperatures aren't helping either. I don't really want to go to attack though, just in case that does damage some parts. It's just this mob of cars in the midfield that is so difficult to get past early on. Eka has now made her way up to behind her teammate in 15th and is going to... Oh, I thought she was going to take a dive up the inside of Dreyfus going into that one, but she hasn't. So we need to find our way past these two cars. Dreyfus doing just that into turn 1, and Eka trying to follow through around the outside. Can't quite get it done, is probably going to get nabbed from behind. Yeah, down to 16th now though. But you can see instantly the pace Dreyfus has sprinting away from that pack. And I'd probably say about 9th or 10th is where we need to get up to. That's where the gap is. We can maybe out-strategize people later in the race. I'm going to go to a bit higher position for this track because of the trees. Maybe not quite that high. There we go. If we can get clear of that bunch, I think that's where the gap in the two packs is going to start materialising, and we don't want to get left behind. Eka has now made her way past Milo and Evans, so is now in 14th. And Dreyfus, there we go. That's the move we needed on Zoo. Hopefully she can keep it all together into the left-hander. She can. So these are the two cars here, I think. As long as we're clear of this field, then we're out of trouble from stupid AI overtaking. And then we can hopefully get on with our race. The problem you have when everyone's bunched up like this, your driver goes for an overtake, and if she pulls out, just kind of lets everybody else overtake them. And it is a bit of an issue. Tyre temperatures slowly coming up, but it might just be track conditions as well, to be fair. Engine and gearbox doesn't like it though, so I'm going to turn the fuel down. I still need to work out which of these wears which parts. Oh, big old big old fight going on here. Dreyfus stays in 12th, but looked like she was going to take both El Sadat and Santa Ana in a single corner here. As we go through the trees, looks like she is going to get past Santa Ana, and does. Good move. Just one car to get then. Santa Ana. Also made the move then, apparently. So El Sadat's gone backwards. Anyway, Eka trying to make her way past those cars, but Dreyfus has now cleared El Sadat then. Good commentating there. I knew what was going on. I knew really. Just want to give you the pretense of a bumbling buffoon, which a lot of motorsport commentators are. Because it's very difficult to get track of and commentate on, okay? And I'm having to keep track of the cars and the fuel loads and the tyres as well. So, it's not as easy as it looks. Children. You're not children, whatever. Eka now on the back of El Sadat then. She needs to make that move as well, but you can see how much we were being held up by that group, because Dreyfus already 2.2 seconds ahead of this group. So up next we have Gerard, Veyen, Batista and Rogers all in a line. And that would take us to the fringes. That would take us into the points. So that's where we need to be. Eka struggling a little bit to get past El Sadat. I won't worry just yet. We have to just turn the fuel back down, so that won't help her. Just gonna keep an eye on the parts. Suspension looks like suspension and brakes on Dreyfus and suspension on Eka. Looks like we might have to do a repair at some point. We shall see. Right, the rain is stopping in the next couple of laps, so we should have enough fuel to get to that stop. And then it looks like onto the dry tyres. So we, of course, have an opportunity now. In changeable conditions. Oh, big old group ahead. Those four are scrapping hard. Of course, you have an opportunity in changeable conditions when it does change compounds to steal a march on your rivals. issue with having 2 cars is you can only get it right with 1 really when they're this close. But Dreyfus is ahead on track, so she gets the call at the moment. Still way too early now though. Dreyfus has now caught the back of that pack, and they're scrapping so hard. El Sadat is coming with Eka, and they're both catching this group along with Dreyfus. So let's hope Dreyfus can clear a couple of these cars before the pit stops. But there's a few that have dropped back into... It's Dembele backwards. Dembele back to Rogers. 6 cars, all in a line. Cruz, Ingledew and Nicanti getting away at the front. So it will take something pretty special to get into that podium position for either our drivers at the moment. But there's a long way to go. We're just about approaching third distance as Dreyfus makes a move on Rogers. Gets it done as soon as she arrives at the scene. That's what we need to see. A good decisive overtaking. Eka's still struggling to get past El Sadat. But there's not much we can do about that. Right, we might... Oh. I don't like the look of this. It's going to start raining again. This is where it gets so tricky. Now Zhu has already pitted for soft tyres. It's definitely going to be quicker on dries in a lap or 2. How heavy is that rain going to come back down? The problem is 2 laps plus the one we're on for both our drivers, but they've got to alternate their stops. So it's the end of the next lap, we have to bring one of them in. So we need to know a couple of laps ahead of that lap 14 marker there. If it's going to continue raining, we might as well put intermediates back on. Because it will be quicker for a couple of laps. Everyone is putting dry tyres on here. So it'll be interesting. Eka has now got past El Sadat, is on the back of Rogers then. Right, we have to pit a car at the end of this lap. Yeah, there's more rain coming. I feel we have to split the strategies at this point. The AI are going on to soft tyres. Or dry tyres. Right, we're going to pit Dreyfus onto... we're going to have to... we start on wet tyres, so we don't have to run both compounds. I don't see the point in medium tyres. Because we've only got 12 laps of fuel. We're going to go for soft tyres. We're going to brim the tank. Looks like 2 stops. Well, no, we're going to have to stop for intermediates at some point anyway. I might go back down to 10 then. 8 seconds to fit those, 6 to fix those. We'll leave them for now. We might have to do it at the next stop. So the AI going on to dry tyres, which makes that decision easy because they're going to have to pit again for intermediates. The tricky one is what we do with Eka. She's in a fairly good position, but we need to steal a march on the rest of our rivals here. Is it going to rain quick enough? How much time are we going to lose in those 3 dry laps on intermediates? And how much tyre life are we going to lose? I'm going to have to risk it. I think it's worth a go. So we'll put intermediates back on for Eka. We'll brim the tank. How's the car looking? So brakes in much better condition than Dreyfus's. Suspension is probably going to need work at some point, but not yet. Right, Dreyfus is in the pit lane then. It's 12.2 second stop. Great on the refueling, good with the tyres. Out she comes in 10th place then. Of the people that have pitted, 1, 2, 3, 4, she's 5th. Batista put the intermediates on though, so she's technically 6th. Okay, looking good. So Eka is going to come in for intermediates, and it's immediately going to rain. Just got to make sure we don't lose too much time on a new set of intermediates. We're not going to find that out until it happens. I'm going to go back down to neutral because the soft tyres are lighting up much quicker in this dry conditions. Even though it's slightly cooler than it was, but obviously it wasn't quite wet enough for the intermediates to work, I think, was the issue. So Dreyfus has gone up into 6th, and look how much time she gained on Eka. But Eka could have the last laugh. The AI seems to be splitting. There are people that have pitted for the intermediates. So we're going to see here. Eka is definitely going to go backwards. There's no doubt about that. But everybody else does have to pit. Yeah, I know. Just bear with it. And they're going to burn up. We're going to lose a lot of tyre life. It needs to rain so quickly for this to work. She's losing time every corner. Dreyfus is, on the other hand, is on the back of Zoo and Batista. Batista is in the same problem, in that they're on the intermediate tyres that just no grip as the track is bone dry. That being said, Dreyfus... Oh, let's just go back down to neutral. That won't help with her tyre life. That being said, Dreyfus is struggling to get past. And she's just been overtaken by Gerard. And she's now got past Batista, but she's not looking too racy out there now that she's up with the people fighting for the points positions. But we could put that down to AI. We'll see how she gets on as everything beds in. Eka has now dropped to the back of the field, well, the back of this pack. There is still El Sadat, Masalia and Valdez behind. Masalia and Valdez completely out of the race. El Sadat is a genuine contender, or genuine first lap runner. The other two are lapped. This isn't working out for Eka. Unfortunately for her, the rain has come a bit late, but now this is the reverse of it. What will the AI do? When will they pit? Because Eka will just get quicker and quicker as it starts to rain, so she might yet claw back some of this time. We of course have got to make the decision now when we pit Dreyfus. Of course, a 12 lap fuel tank, so we'd be aiming for around about lap 18 to ensure that we can get to the end. Right, our suspension's starting to have issues, so we're going to have to repair that when she comes in for intermediates. That is the other issue. Eka is not going to get to the end on that fuel load, so she will have to pit again. Dreyfus, we might be able to just get away with one more stop. Yep, can you... I wish there was a way to turn those messages off. I'm well aware, thank you. So the rain is going to be much more severe than it was in the first half of the race. Don't think we're going to need wets at any point. Right, here comes the rain then. And for Dreyfus, we need another lap. But is this the right lap now to pit on? We've got Eka out there as a feeler. She's still losing time to El Sadat. She's still losing a bunch of time, so it's not this lap. It'll be next time around. So Dreyfus will pit this time round for intermediates. Maximise the fuel, and we're just going to have to manage that fuel load until the end. And we're going to have to fix that suspension. It's sort of a lottery once the part goes into the red, whether it will actually, you know, cause a catastrophic effect on the car. But I'd rather not run that risk. Dreyfus is in a good position. We don't want to risk it. Right, Eka. That's why she's losing. Bloody... Well, she's only just been caught, actually, by the blue flags, but she's lost 4 seconds to El Sadat in that lap alone. Oh dear. Her race is looking a little bit ruined at the moment, although she has come out ahead of Evans, which is not a bad thing. She's going to have to make another stop. How are the engine and gearbox looking? Okay, I think we can use some fuel. We're going to have to stop again, so we may as well start using that fuel. Right, in comes Dreyfus then. Eka is now catching El Sadat, so it is the right lap to pit. And the AI has stayed out. This is it. They just they don't know when the right time to pit is. Sabedo and Evans have come in, but everybody around Dreyfus stayed out that lap. Now I'd love to push now with the fuel and the tyres. I don't think we can't risk the car at this point. Eka is under investigation, no action taken. Thank God for that. Oh, she's lost her front wing. Okay, well that's made the decision for me. You're coming in. Oh, that strategy didn't work, did it? Right, new front wing. 4 seconds for the suspension at the risk of possibly just literally falling into the abyss in terms of lap time. We'll repair it. She's got nothing to lose at this point. It's not an ideal race, this one. We could still get some points out of it. Now, let's not forget what I said about the fastest lap. Problem being, we don't necessarily... Oh, shit. Oh, she crashed into Cavalcanti. My fault. Totally my fault. She needs a rear wing. How can you crash into someone with your rear wing? That doesn't work. You know what? Sometimes it's just not your day. I'm just going to accept that at this point. Let's put an extra lap of fuel in because we can. And fix the rear wing. Let's fix the fucking brakes while we're there, why not? Oh boy. I'm a little bit disappointed now, as you would imagine. Sometimes you do everything in motorsport and it's just not your day. There's the title of the episode right there. Not our day. Eka's going to come out in 15th place though, which is surprising. A lot of people also having a pretty bad day at the moment. There's still people on dry tyres when the track is wet. But Dreyfus losing so much time it doesn't really matter at this point. Okay, she'll eventually come into the pits. Oh shit, we're still using high engine mode for Eka. Let's turn that down. Let's just get to the end of the race now. What will be will be. Okay, Sarah. Okay. Good stop considering 21 seconds to change a rear wing. You would definitely not be able to do that in real life. You could in something like GP2 though, or Formula E. Okay, she's back out with fixed car, bit of extra fuel. Engine and gearbox looking good. Let's push a bit, shall we? Let's have a bit of fun. How's Eka's car looking? 29.47. She's a bit tight on fuel though. Might just push for a bit, get that tyre temperature up. So after all those shenanigans, just 10 seconds separate our two drivers. In realistic range is, I would probably say, up to 8th place Rogers. There are a few people pitting now that pitted very late. I still don't, yeah, with those repairs we're still not going to get anywhere near them. Might get Batista down the pit straight. Not even going to get Batista, are we? No, just behind. If we had incredible pace right now, 10th is possible. 6th, 20 seconds in 8 laps. It's not going to happen, is it? We need a miracle at this point. Milo's going to have to pit again. It's around about 25 seconds. Nowhere near us, even with that kind of length of stop. It's raining till the end. Let's sit back and just watch the cars race around the track for a change, shall we? I'm consigned to defeat. The ride is screwed. Oh, will you shut up? It's 28%. You got loads left. It's like a normal road spring on a road car. It's enough. It's raining anyway. You're not pushing that hard on the suspension. Milo finally does pit and does go behind all of us actually. Dreyfus now up to 11th, Eka up to 13th. Dreyfus looking to put a move on our bowler. And does do. Up to 10th then. Now these would all be valuable points last season. This doesn't matter this season. This is still nil point. 5th and 6th going down the pit straight now. They're just too far away. Dreyfus has some great pace, lapping in the 41s. Eka back in the 42s. I'm sure there would be a way for me to tell what kind of lap times they were doing. Rogers just does have a problem though. Dembele doesn't. We'll see. We can stay hopeful. Eka really struggling at 42.9 that time around. Dreyfus at 41.9, so a clear second over her teammate. Whether that is all set up or just more confidence with the car. She is pushing and using high fuel as well though, to be fair. I might take that off. 40.28. We'll keep it on. Let's go for it. 2 cars in the pits then. Evans and Sabedo. Dreyfus up to 8th place. Is Eka going to take those positions? Eka's going to come out. Will gain the place on Sabedo, but Evans comes out just ahead of her. So Eka up to 12. Dreyfus the big beneficiary of those pit stops. Now it's all on Zhu and Rogers. And Batista, of course. Batista did a 39.7 last time around. Are you kidding me? You can't deal with that kind of pace. Why so fast? I don't know. That'll answer to that. Alright, car's looking pretty worse for wear. We're going to go back to neutral and medium. Make sure we see the end of this race. There's no point in even going for the fastest lap either, because there was that little bit of dry running, and those laps will be a lot quicker. So there's no point in even pulling one of the cars in and repairing everything and new tyres and then just attacking with full fuel mode, which would be the way to get the fastest lap if it was dry. Zhu and Rogers, they're not really coming to us, are they? They're coming to Batista. Batista did a 42.5 again that time round. So where did that 39 come from? It was an outstanding lap. This is incredibly mediocre. In previous points laws, this would have been a great finish. A great recovery finish. As in, we had massive problems, we've recovered well to get both cars almost into the top 10. Dreyfus in 8th, Ecker in 11th. As of this year, we may as well be 19th and 20th. These two positions are useless because we don't get a single point. Maybe in countback it will be crucial. It's very, very unlikely though. It's got to be a very specific set of circumstances to need a countback to 8th place to be on a tie. I thought Evans and I thought Rogers and Zhu were struggling there for a minute. They are? No, they're not. It's still 19 seconds between us and Rogers, and Zhu is still a couple of seconds behind. Dembele is going backwards a little bit. Garard's retired from 3rd place. Garard has either stuffed it or something's gone bang. And Rogers has gone. What's going on? That puts us into the points. Dreyfus has got a point from nowhere. Never give up. Never give in. That's what I was definitely not saying earlier. I'm just going to sit back and watch. Yes, I know. I can't do anything about it. You're in a points playing position. I'm not pitting you now. Oh, and all of a sudden, it's tense again. It's bloody game, man. Oh, gearbox on Ecker. Yeah, I can't do much about it. Everybody's blowing up left, right and centre. And it might be time, a little prematurely, to say thank you to someone in the comments. I think it was Eric. That said concentrate on the gearbox and engine over everything else. So they are the most important. And whilst everybody's going bang around us, it would seem, it looks like, okay, is that enough conserving fuel? Yeah, we can't push the engine. Claudia, just get off the... Shut her off. I don't want to hear her. Just tell her her radio's broken. Ecker is closing on our bowler, but it doesn't really matter. This is going to be the luckiest 6th position in history. It's going to be a crucial point though. So few points up for grabs over the course of a season now. That 1 point could be crucial come the end. Especially as it's come out of a truly awful race as Dreyfus rounds the final corner to get a truly unexpected 6th place in what has been a hellish race. Everything went wrong. Ecker crossed his line in 8th. Which is even better considering we made a terrible call with our strategy. But we had to try it, I feel, from where they were. Multiple issues in that race. Dreyfus lost a rear wing, Ecker a front wing. We had to do a couple of little repairs, but nowhere near as severe as in the first race. And it just took us too long to get through that midfield, and we were never quite caught up. I think we had the pace to run with the top 6 today, but we just never got there. We were constantly trying to get through the midfield and through cars, and then the wing issues and the pit stops, and that cost us today. All in all though, yeah, you've said it perfectly, Dreyfus. Great result, and we'll take that. Not a bad result. Ecker, you can be proud of that 8th place. You were right at the back there for a while. Cruz takes home the win for Zampelli Engineering. Congratulations to him. And we shall go onwards from here. We'll pick ourselves back up, and we'll hope for a much better race next time out. We always seem to have pace, which I don't think we could have been said last year. The car is seeming a little bit better. Apparently we had a drive-through penalty for each car. I don't remember that. When did that happen? I know they both had accidents, but it said no action taken. That must be a bug, because they didn't do a drive-through. Not that I saw anyway. If I missed that and anyone saw it, Do let me know down in the comments. Okay, so that point means that Eka, she does drop sick, but she's still up there. Dreyfus, no, it's Dreyfus with the point, wasn't it? Closes up a little bit on Eka. In the all-important constructors, we drop to 4th, but we're 7 points away from Zampelli. That's not much. It's reduced points, it's less points, so we can make this all up later. That point keeps us ahead of Silver Racing and just gives a little bit of hope from what was a pretty dire afternoon of racing. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, if you did, don't forget to hit that like button. Keep the encouragement, the advice, and of course criticism. I'm perfectly open to that coming down in the comments. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well, and you can keep up to date with when all the new videos are out. Take a look at the GT series as well if you haven't already. Maybe one of your last chances to, because I've got a feeling we're going to be fired from that team pretty quickly. And yeah, let's hope for a better race next time out in what is supposed to be our championship winning season. So I will join you next time in a few days' time for the Milan Grand Prix. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.